This story is giving me pause. At first, I was just like, oh, okay, do I want to cover this? And then I looked a little bit further and I was like, oh, we got to talk about this one. Reasonable doubt. I have reasonable doubt about this disappearance of Savannah Guthrie's mom. Savannah Guthrie is a co-anchor at NBC News for like the Today Show. Her mother disappeared fairly recently. And after I did a little bit more digging, I think she was taken. And I think it goes deeper than people may have realized. Because I looked into who her family is, who they worked for, and there's just a lot of coincidences. And I'm starting to wonder if this is more of a test or threat. Let's go ahead and get into it. It was announced just the other day that her mother disappeared. Listen to this.
A white female, 84 years of age, 5'2" medium build, powder blue. Things after 2,200 hours as of yesterday. Nancy has high blood pressure, pacemaker, and cardiac issues.
So what you're hearing there, that's the newly uncovered audio of what a dispatcher said when the call went out that Nancy Guthrie was missing on February 1st. We hear that dispatcher mention that Nancy Guthrie has a pacemaker, she has high blood pressure, and she has cardiac issues. You'll remember the sheriff of Pima County said she's incredibly sharp mentally, but physically she has some limitations where she wouldn't be able to walk 50 yards on her own. Now the pacemaker, that also is a very key part of this story because it's helping put the timeline together of when Nancy may have been taken from her home. Now, as a reminder, the sheriff said that Nancy was taken against her will in the middle of the night. They say when they walked into her house, they realized what they were dealing with was a crime scene and that she did not leave that home willingly, that someone must have come in there and taken her from that home. Now, Fox News Digital says that the pacemaker that Nancy Guthrie had, that is synced to her Apple Watch. And the watch was still on the charger near her bed when deputies arrived at her home the next day. They also say they have her cell phone, which was found at her house. And that pacemaker, according to this Fox News Digital report, synced to her watch last at around 2:00 in the morning Sunday. So
if you know that this is someone that has medical conditions, someone that they said can't walk like 50 feet, yeah, somebody took her. The question is who and why? I would imagine someone who wants to get back at Savannah or possibly Savannah's husband, somebody in her family, because it has not been uncommon for people who are higher up to go after family members instead of going after the person that they have issue with. When I get into this a little bit more about Savannah and who she is, I think you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's go on a little bit more here.
Here's what we know when it comes to the final time that anyone had seen Nancy Guthrie. And it brings us back to Saturday night. Law enforcement says it was between 9:30 and 9:45 in the evening that Savannah Guthrie's older sister, Nancy Guthrie's daughter, Annie, dropped Nancy off at her house after they had had dinner. Now, Nancy lives alone in this home north of Tucson, Arizona. Now, we don't know much about what happened next. Deputies were called at 12:15 in the afternoon on Sunday after Nancy didn't show up for church. She is very much a devout churchgoer. So when she was a no-show Sunday morning, that was a major cause for concern. The sheriff says that Nancy's family was first notified that she was missing around 11:00 in the morning on Sunday.
We do believe that Nancy was taken from her home against her will, and that's where we're at.
Okay, so let's skip a bucket here for just a second. Usually, the last person who saw you is considered a person of interest. So the family member that took her home and dropped her off is probably at this point a person of interest. Last I checked, they have not labeled them as a suspect just yet, but usually that's kind of how these things go. Doesn't mean that they actually did it. Who knows? But it makes me wonder if someone was waiting, if it wasn't that person, if it was someone who was waiting, someone who knew what time she was getting home. I mean, when you look at the property, it kind of, I mean, it looks kind of rural. So you would think if there was someone out there watching, you would be able to see them. You never know though, right? It's the desert. It's at night, Arizona. But typically that person would be a person of interest at this point in time. It has been a couple of days. This is someone that has a pacemaker, they said. This is someone obviously that has medical needs, needs medical attention. Cell phone, she doesn't have it. Watch, doesn't have it. So it has been a couple of days. And now people are asking the question if she is even alive. Let's go on a little bit more here.
The sheriff has been trying not to release too much information to the media over the last couple of days, but there has been a lot of speculation out there when it comes to this story. You have a lot of media outlets putting out pieces of information from anonymous sources that authorities have had to respond to. And one of those pieces of information that deputies haven't confirmed, but they also haven't denied, are these alleged ransom notes that were sent to media outlets on Tuesday. TMZ was the first to report that they received one. Then you had several other outlets, including local TV stations in Tucson, saying that someone had emailed them a ransom note as well. So TMZ says that they received this note Tuesday morning, and the note reportedly demanded a specific and substantial amount of Bitcoin, millions of dollars of Bitcoin, be sent to a specific Bitcoin address. TMZ says they were able to verify that the Bitcoin address was real. And they also say that the note gives a deadline for the money to be sent and what TMZ calls an element of or else. So the sheriff's office posted this on social media in response to the amount of talk about these ransom notes, these alleged ransom notes that were being sent out to the media outlets. And
so again, the property here, so you guys can see, because if you're wondering where someone could have hidden, just so you can see the property. But yeah, apparently there are ransom notes. They're asking for money, and those notes did have a deadline. Now, I have to show you the weird connection because this is wild, and I've seen some things. Guess whose name? Hold on, let me come in here. So I'm gonna make this bigger so you guys can read it with me. Guess whose name also appears in the Epstein files? Savannah Guthrie. Now, of course, she's not accused of doing anything or being on the island or anything like that, but you guys need to see this. Let me bring this up here. September 18th, 2019. Just wanted to give you a heads up. She's done another interview with Savannah Guthrie. Here's right here. In it, she said the following. She was interviewed by the FBI in 2011 by a blank. In the interview, she gave the names of all the girls she helped to traffic. 2, she was also interviewed by SDNY. No time frame. 3, 2 other women also tell DOJ that Epstein specifically trafficked them to other men. And 4, there are cameras in the New York City house and others where he could watch people in bathrooms and elsewhere. They're talking about that New York City townhouse that he had. They plan to air it on today and this Friday's Dateline. Hope that's helpful. That was 2019. Savannah Guthrie apparently was going to air this story about one of the alleged Epstein victims in 2019. I found it kind of interesting that her mom just happened to be kidnapped right after this latest dump of Epstein files. I have to say, for the record, this is the very first time I saw that her name was in the file. I never knew about this before. So we're just trying to put these pieces together. We don't know for sure if it's connected, but I'm just looking at the timing. It seems a little bit coincidental. And there's more. When you look into her family, in particular her husband, Savannah Guthrie's husband was Michael Feldman. Guess who he worked for? Let's pull this up here. Michael Feldman was a consultant. Peep this, fam. He worked for American Public Relations. He was a communication consultant and a former Democratic political advisor. Feldman was Vice President Al Gore's traveling chief of staff during the 2000 presidential campaign. He is the founding partner and managing director of the Glover Park Group. It's a communications consulting and advocacy firm. They have also been known to scrub information, FYI, that company. Now, fast forward, Feldman joined Bill Clinton's campaign staff in 1992. Following the election, Feldman served in the Clinton administration as vice president of Al Gore's deputy director of legislative affairs from 1993 to 1997. In 1997, Feldman became a senior advisor and traveling chief of staff to the vice president, a role he held until 2001. In November, he played a key role in Gore's decision to contest the results at that time. We have to be careful what we say on here because YouTube gets finicky about that. Feldman formed the Glover Park Group with Gore campaign advisors Carter Escrew and Chip Smith and former White House press secretary Joe Lockhart. So we're looking at, let's go on a little bit more. Watch this. In an interview with lawyers Ben Chew and Camille Vasquez in regard to the Depp versus Heard defamation trial, Feldman's wife, Savannah Guthrie, revealed that Feldman had worked as a public relations consultant for the legal team who represented Johnny Depp. Remember that trial between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard? Okay. Now we got a part 3, okay? So let's put these pieces together. For the first time, find out that Savannah Guthrie's name was in the Epstein files because she was set to bring that information forward about one of those alleged victims. 2, we know that her mom was just recently kidnapped, just not too long after that last dump of files. 3, now we know that Savannah's husband worked for the Clinton administration. He was also involved with the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. 4, just a couple of days ago, Bill and Hillary Clinton, right after this latest dump of Epstein files, said they would testify in front of Congress. After they said that they would not just a couple weeks ago. Now, all of a sudden, now that these files have been released, now all of a sudden Bill and Hillary want to come testify. And it just so happened that Savannah Guthrie's mom, someone kidnapped this woman, and this woman just happens to have a member in her family that worked for the Clinton administration. And Savannah's in the Epstein files. It's almost as if someone's trying to send a message to Savannah. I don't know if they're trying to scare her. I don't know what they're trying to do, but they want money. And a lot of times with these situations, sometimes you got to look close to home. More people are saying it's probably an inside job. It's probably a family member that's demanding the money, who could have paid someone to take the mother so that they're not seen doing it and then demanding the money. That's what a lot of people are pointing towards. Or it could be that this order was put out from someone who is higher up, who is elite, because of these Epstein files. And here's the thing, we may never know. It's been a couple of days since Savannah's mom has been missing. We don't know if she's alive or not. But these are a lot of coincidences. And she did issue a statement, finally, Savannah. This is her with her siblings. I want you to hear what she said here.
We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please reach out to us. Mommy, if you are hearing this, you are a strong woman. You are God's precious daughter, Nancy. We believe and know that even in this valley, He is with you. Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again. We speak to you every moment, and we pray without ceasing, and we rejoice in advance for the day that we hold you in our arms again. We love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
We love you, Mom. Stay strong.
We love you, Mom.
Yeah, it just like, honestly, when I first heard about this story, it sounded like a movie. It almost sounded like a movie I saw before. I was like, oh, it kind of sounded like, I like to watch thrillers sometimes. So I was like, sounds like one of those movies I watched, one of those thriller movies I've watched before. Just weird, don't you think, that someone would just take her mom? A news anchor. So I don't know what's going on here, folks, but I just find it to be very strange. It's weird to me. It is giving me creepy vibes that all of the connections is what shakes me up. Now, I don't know if this is because of the Epstein stuff or not, but I thought it was important that you see like who these people are connected to. And that Savannah Guthrie was one of the commentators, one of the anchors that did come forward with one of the victims to report about Epstein. She was one of them. I don't know, guys. It's some weird. So again, like I said, I have reasonable doubt. I really do. This is all getting kind of weird to me. And this has been a weird year. 2026 has been a weird year. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.